Hello and welcome to the MMA Coaches Corner brought to you by the Scott Sportscast. I am the fighter,
Now I'm the coach.
and we are here today to break down UFC 254 Khabib versus KG. And man, can we not wait.
Let's get some hype in the chat. Let's get some hype in the chat. This is a big one, folks.
You know, what? One more. All right, that's enough of that.
Cut
Maybe
the
only needed. Cut the damn music. But yeah, so UFC 254 Khabib versus Gagey Picks. I'm pretty excited about this card. We got what, a 6-fight main card this time?
Yeah, we got 6 fights. We got a lot to get into. We're here. We're in the building. Yo, what is going on, Scott Sportscast? It's day before the fights. We're excited. We're getting amped up every second that we get closer to this slugfest of a card that we got coming on. So why don't we go ahead, jump right into our first fight here, Alex?
I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with my hands. Just leave them down at your side. All right.
Keep them in your pockets.
Yes, I brought them back up for the audio listeners. All right, so our first fight, we got Magomed Ankalaev versus Ion Cutelaba. One loss only for Magomed. This is the rematch to the rematch. So first off, we had these two fight, and it was arguably the worst stoppage in UFC history. Cutelaba thought it was cute. See what I did there? Cutelaba. All right, but so he thought it was cool to pretend that he was more stunned or more rocked than he actually was. The only problem is whenever you try to trick your opponent and bait him into something like that, you might trick the ref. So the ref called that fight because he thought he was hurt. He sold it too well.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you play possum, you end up getting bit by a bigger animal. That's what happened.
Yep, and I mean, it's not like it would have mattered much anyways because Magomed was piecing him up those first minute or two that fight actually took place. So, I'm gonna expect a lot more of the same. I'm going with Magomed in this one. This time, give me a decision because if it's one thing Cutelaba has is a chin. So,
Well, there's one thing I saw at weigh-ins that is going to make me kind of pick against a decision. I think Magomed here is actually going to get the TKO victory. I think it's going to be shades of Groundhog's Day here. He's going to come out, piece him up again. He's got a really quick left hand, and he throws his combinations to end with kicks, which is always beautiful. He'll take him up high. He'll bring him down low. He's not afraid to hit you in the body. He likes to mix up his striking, and I think
he has great takedowns.
I saw something at weigh-ins that really kind of sealed the deal for me. Magomed went in for the intense stare down, and Cutelaba decided not to engage in the stare down. He just kind of turned and looked at the cameras instead. So that told me Magomed was ready to look into this dude's soul, and Cutelaba wasn't ready to have that insight. He wasn't ready to have that visual exchange. So to me, he's still in his head, and Magomed's going to finish what he started. Actually, he's going to refinish what he started in the first fight.
He's just going to do it better this time.
He's just going to do it better, yeah. So give me Magomed here with the TKO victory.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I just don't see Kutabala winning that fight unless he gets one of them lucky punches, uh, so to speak. But all right, so let's move on to our next matchup. We have our women's fight. We have Lauren Murphy versus oh Leah uh Skorovic Skorova.
Lilia Sakharova.
Sakharova.
Shakarova or Sharikova. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's cool.
So I'm not sure. That might be her UFC debut. Coming in
Yeah.
at 8-1.
Lilia's UFC Octagon debut and coming off a short notice.
Yeah, and then you have Lauren Murphy, who jack of all trades, kind of master of none. Um, I would say she has the advantage on the ground, but watching Lilia fight, I have to pick her on this one. She's got faster hands, more aggressive. It just looks like she has more of that killer instinct, and that's important in a fist fight. Um, so give me Lillian moving to 9-1.
Well, I beg to differ, sir, and here's why. Lilia is 8-1. Yeah, she's a national champion freestyle wrestler. Yeah, she throws some good spin kicks. She throws some good front kicks, but that's about it. So she hasn't faced nearly as tough of competition as Lauren Murphy, and Lauren Murphy is way bigger. She's a huge fighter. She's gonna be able to control the clinch work a little bit better. Um, I like, and then something else that happened at weigh-ins was this Lilia girl tried to flinch at at Lauren, and Lauren just stood there and looked her down, and like Lilia knew she fucked up and didn't get the reaction that she wanted and kind of tried to laugh it off, but she embarrassed herself at weigh-ins. So
Yup, dumbass, ass and ass, asses.
So Lauren Murphy's gonna go in there and just put the hurt on her for 15 minutes. Give me a decisive victory here. Um, your girl Lilia taking her second loss in a short notice with those octagon jitters. I just don't see it happening. Give me Lauren Murphy here.
I think that it's actually going to benefit her more being on short notice for that UFC jitters, because if you don't have time to even train, you don't have time to be nervous about the UFC. You know, you just have nothing but your opponent on your mind.
Here's the problem. If you're worried about the audience, if you're worried about the venue, then you ain't a real fighter. A real fighter will fight you anywhere, any place, anytime. Doesn't matter. Name it.
Pick
So if
that
you're
RV
worried about your
bathroom
octagon
stall.
debut, then something's wrong.
Yeah, you're there to fight. Doesn't matter who or where.
Exactly.
Show show up
A cage
prepared.
is a cage. It doesn't matter how it's painted.
Yep, doesn't matter how many sides it has either. It can be a one-sided
Exactly.
cage. I'll fight you on it.
I'll fight you on either side like that Mario game.
Give me that
Knocking those
15
little
minute.
dudes knocking those little Koopa troopers off of the gates in the Bowser's mansion
Yeah.
and stuff. I'll fight you on one cage.
Yeah, give me just the corner of it, and I'll just fight you in there for 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. All right. But so looks like we split fighters. You're going Murphy, I'm going Lilia. But we both are picking by decision. So I mean, I have a feeling it might even be closer to a split, but I just think that those fast hands are going to pay dividends.
I think
and
Lauren
now,
Murphy here wins the long game.
and now here's an interesting fight, because both these guys have some knockout power. but they both are equally susceptible to getting knocked out. So we have Jason Malcaron versus Philip Hayes or Haas. So Haas got to knock out his UFC debut. Obviously, pretty happy about that.
Contender Series, Dana White, right?
Nope. That one didn't end so well for him because he was on the Contender Series and he fought, I want to say, Martin Velasquez maybe, and Valencia. So he ended up getting head kicked, knocked out brutally. He was standing up against the cage, kind of turned to the side, and just ate full shin to jawbone and just collapsed like a Thriller video. I was like, oh man. And yeah, it took him a while to get up. So that one was a little scary, but I just don't see him having the same power as Jacob. Well, maybe more power, but less technical on the striking. This one's tough. This one is tough.
Well, Jacob Balkanen is a high-level, world-class jiu-jitsu purple belt, not a black belt. He did win the ADCC championships. This guy is a good grappler. He will stand with you a little bit. It's not his forte. It's not what he wants to do, but he's willing to stand in there enough to get the fight to the ground. But like you were saying, Haas, he's powerful. He's a heavy hitter. He'll either knock you out or get knocked out type of a guy. But I haven't really seen his grappling. So if he gets taken down and you got a legit grappler on top of you, you're in some trouble there. So I'm actually gonna take Jacob here to move on to 5-0 with a submission victory. I think he gets the submission of the night. Not sure
Right.
how. Maybe like a I want to say something like a head and arm kind of like position.
Like a scarf
And
choke.
yeah, and then so like he kind of dominates in those type of positions there, finally ends up on the neck somehow, gets a choke. Not sure which one, but
Probably a Von Flu choke.
yeah, I think no, not like Von Flu, but
I mean, I don't think this guy's grappling is high enough level to even acknowledge what's going on that. So you might be able to catch him with it.
so I feel he
Get him
gets
with
this
an
fight down.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, I feel like he gets this fight down and just kind of transitions over the place until he finally finds a good choke, gets the victory here. Maybe like an anaconda choke or something we haven't seen in a while, like a Peruvian necktie, something.
Yeah. So pretty much what I had here, I was gonna say just different. If this fight stays standing, I'm gonna give the edge to Haas all day, but I don't think it will. So give me a submission victory for Jacob as well.
Oh,
Nice.
you changing your pick or what?
No, I didn't pick yet.
I thought you picked
I wasn't finished. I was just like, I was thinking about it, but because I had that debate on my head, I was like, probably gonna go to the ground. I'm gonna give the edge to the grappler, who has striking, than the striker who has no grappling. You know?
Yeah, a little bit more well-rounded, but still, it's a grappler versus striker type of matchup, and let's see whoever can get to their geography first and keep it more consistent. Because if you're stuck on the mat, your striking's not that good. If you're stuck standing and trading, your wrestling's not going to be that good. So your jiu-jitsu, you got to get on the ground.
Got to balance it out. Can't be one dimensional in today's game. All these other fighters will show you why. So
Yeah.
this next fight is gonna be my knockout of the night. I'm still trying to figure out who's gonna land first because either one of these guys are gonna put you night.
Oh yeah.
You got Alexander Volkov and you have Walt Harris. Oh, doggy! I tell you what, man, both guys will just floor you and finish you. Cleaner boxing, I would say by Harris, except for you have Volkanov who uses a lot more kicks and versatile striking. So if Volkanov can throw those kicks in, keep them at bay, use a little bit of that lengthiness that he has, I think he should be able to control the striking match and not take too much damage. It's one of those where it's going to be kicks and punches versus just punches. So give me the punch and the kicks. I'm gonna take Alexander Volkanov by knockout.
Yeah. I am also taking Alexander. I think that he has that 3-inch reach advantage. He's a little bit of the taller fighter, and he's used to fighting taller fighters. Now, I believe he's 6'7", and Walt is 6'5". So Walt Harris is no slouch when it comes to heavyweight fighting. He's not a small guy by any means, but
And he's
you know
quick.
he is going to have to be the shorter fighter. He is going to have to be the one that has to find his range against a lankier opponent. He's usually been the bigger, lankier fighter. So now he's fighting somebody who has that advantage on him. I don't know if he's fought guys like that in the past, but that matters. You got to get past that jab. And if Alexander keeps popping that jab in your face and hitting you with those leg kicks, mixing it up with the boxing to the body, to the head, then it's going to be a tough night for Walt Harris, who's he's going to rely on just his hands and trying to land those big power shots to finish the fight. I don't see either of these opponents trying to take each other down. This is going to be a true striking fight. So if somebody does go for a takedown, it's going to tell you early on that they don't want to be standing and they want to change the pace. So whoever goes for the first takedown is probably going to lose this fight.
And it's either going to be because they got rocked or because they got gas. So as soon as your stamina tank empties on the feet, you try to get down to the ground where you can get a breather. The thing that you forget when you're tired because you're exhausted is it takes a lot of energy to take someone down, especially if you don't do it correctly.
Yeah, everybody wants a break on top, but nobody wants to, grind out the takedown in order to get on top. They just want to have it. It's just, oh, give me the takedown. GSP makes it look so easy.
Yep, and that's because it comes with timing.
Yep. So you got to set up your takedowns with your striking.
But that's the thing about Volkanov is he can hit that long jab, like you said, and then follow that up with a low kick. Boom. Keep pumping out that jab. Boom. Now they're low kick. And then all of a sudden, you just throw out one jab and then a body kick. So,
Now Walt Harris can definitely land one of those big bombs and put out, Volkanov. But I just think Alexander is going to use a little bit better technique and use a little bit more of his angles in order to get off some better shots. But this one's close. This one's not going to be just a one-sided beatdown. This one's going to be a little back and forth until something finally gives. And I just think Alexander's going to land the cleaner shots and do a little bit more damage with his length.
Yeah, I mean, in layman terms, I see Walt breaking first.
Yeah, I don't really see him breaking, but I definitely see him getting caught and getting clipped. And that's going to spell trouble and kind of lead to
in those exchanges, That's really what it comes down to, is like who's going to give up on the exchange first.
Oh, who's gonna stop throwing combinations first?
Yeah, and then just kind of go one dimensional, and then it's just downhill from there.
Get right hand happy or something.
Exactly. Maybe he drops him right in the beginning in the first round, then he keeps fishing for it the whole fight, and then Walt's able to pick up on it and catch it. Like all sorts of things could happen. But you give me the versatility of Alexander, not 9 out of 10 times against a power striker. So
Yeah, and kickboxing is a different range than boxing. So who's going to be able to get to their spot? Who's going to be able to dictate the geography of the fight? Is it going to be a boxing match where Walt has the advantage, or is it going to be a kickboxing match? And I think it's just Alexander's going to be able to stay out of reach and stay in kicking range a little bit more effective than Walt's going to be able to get in and use his boxing range.
exactly. So our next fight we have up, Robert Whitaker taking on
Reaper.
Jared, the human cannoneer. Woo! Talk about some more heavy hitters.
Yeah.
What I really like about this matchup is that, for the most part, both men are going to try to stand. It's just hard for me to pick against Whitaker right now because this guy is fighting phenomenal. I love the way that he's able to slip in and out with angles instead of just moving straight back and forward. If you move straight back and forward, he will catch you and knock you out either way. And what I really love about Robert Whitaker is how sneaky that left hook comes in. One of my favorite punches. And it's one of the most deadly, especially if you can land it on a chin or a liver. So give me Robert Whitaker here winning this fight by TKO. He's gonna stay patient, and he has excellent timing. So as soon as Jared comes in to make a mistake, Robert Whitaker is going to capitalize on it. I know Cannoneer just made it to top 10, so he's solid. So this should be a good fight. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, this one, a little bit more of a toss-up for me. Cannoneer does have that true one-punch power. He used to fight at heavyweights. He lost 2 times. I'm not sure if he lost more, but he lost to Dominic Reyes and he lost to Jan Blachowicz, which are the 2 guys who just fought for the belt at light heavyweight. So his only losses.
And one is the champ.
Yeah, so he's fought some high level. Now he's dropped down to middleweight where he's been looking good. I just think Robert Whitaker, he's an awkward type of a striker. He doesn't move conventionally. He's not just going to pivot, step back, hop back, cut out to the side. No, this guy, he's going to take awkward steps. He's going to create awkward angles. He's going to loop that left hand up there where you don't think it's going to be able to land, but he finds a way. Then he's going to do that leaning leg head kick type of stuff that he always does. And he's a powerful guy. He actually hurts people through their guard, through their hands. So he doesn't need to land directly on your chin to really rattle you. And I just think his volume and his speed in the footwork is going to make all the difference in this fight. I feel Whitaker, he's taken a lot of damage, so he could get caught on the chin and just put out and rocked. He got hurt in that Till fight pretty bad with that elbow, but
As
survived,
he should.
came back, put on a great performance. So that tells me that, his chin's still there. He still wants to fight because it would have been easy to give up and just, say, oh man, I'm checkmated. I just got hit with this huge elbow by a huge guy. But no, he got up, he kept fighting, and he won the rest of the fight. And so because of the heart, because of the awkward movements, because of the power and speed, I got to go with Robert Whitaker over the cannon here.
Ooh.
So I don't know. Maybe it'll be a TKO, but it's a 3-round fight, so probably give me a decision here for Robert Whitaker.
Yeah, 3 rounds just doesn't seem enough. Actually, no, that's the yeah, it's the co-main event. So yeah, only
3-round fight.
only 3.
Robert Whitaker hasn't fought 3 rounds in a while, so it'll be interesting to see how he starts out because you can't start out slow. You gotta come
Yeah,
out. And we all know that your boy, the cannon, comes out, he hits him hard and he hits him fast and he finishes fights. I
that's
just think
right.
Robert Whitaker is a little bit too savvy, has a little bit too high of a fight IQ to let just some guy run in there and mow him over like that. I think he's
Yeah,
gonna get on his bicycle, he's gonna hop around the cage, and he's gonna land the shots that he needs to land, the power shots, and he gets it done. Robert Whitaker probably trying to set up a rematch with Adesanya, which I think will end the same way. But give me Robert Whitaker winning this fight first.
Robert Whitaker. Dope name. Yeah, so all right, so we both got Whitaker on that one. How about we finally talk about it? Let's talk about it. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we'll talk about how you're gonna owe me a nice fat ribeye steak after this fight.
Woo-hoo. So, for those who aren't in the loop, Coach and Fighter here got ourselves a little bet going on. If Khabib wins this fight, I must buy
Yeah.
Coach a steak. If Gaethje pulls it off, beats Khabib, he buys me a steak. Yum. And I
Flaming
like
Yolk versus a ribeye.
a big one. All right,
I'm
so
gonna keep wanting it because Khabib's winning this fight, and let me tell you why. Because Khabib has never not got a takedown in a fight. This guy follows the game plan. He gets you down and he breaks you. Now, I will say, Justin Gaethje, this dude is a killer. He's a warrior. He loves fighting, and I'm a huge fan, and I love Gaethje, but this is just not a good matchup for him. Could he catch Khabib on the feet? Yeah, but Khabib wrestles bears. This guy, he swims in frozen rivers. This guy's training. He puts himself through hell so that way nobody else can. And Khabib, he has never not gotten a takedown. And every established grappler that has ever fought Khabib has not been able to do anything. Whether it's Michael Johnson, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor couldn't do anything in the striking game. Khabib just smashes people.
and the
He's
thing
gonna
people
keep
forget about
moving the
Khabib is that he also has power. I mean, how many times has he almost just one punch knocked people out?
Yeah. And he slams guys too. He's relentless. He chain wrestles. Like he's not just gonna try to get a double leg and sit there. No, if he doesn't get that double leg, he's gonna try to do a high crotch. If he doesn't get the high crotch, he's gonna try to run the pike. If he is not able to get the single, he'll switch it back to a double. If he can't get the double, he'll work for that body lock. He'll hold you up against the cage. He'll apply that forward pressure. He'll wear your arms out. And yeah, Justin Gaethje can win a kickboxing fight with Khabib all day long, 100 times out of 100. But once you start mixing wrestling with striking, it's a whole new game. And I just think Khabib is able to do that better than Gaethje. And I know Gaethje started out as a wrestler. He's wrestled his whole life. He's a violent wrestler. He used to just slam people and knock them out and win fights like that, but he's never grappled a guy like Khabib. And after you give me your reasons why Gaethje's gonna win, I'll give you my final reason and the true reason the only thing that matters and the truth about why Khabib is going to win this fight, I'll save it till after your breakdown. So now I'm going to let you talk me into Gaethje here.
Okay, we'll be back after. No. All right. So Gaethje, talk about America versus Russia. This fight, man, it's just the true epitome of both countries coming together in one glorious fist fight. You know.
Rocky versus Ivan.
Yeah, you have the relentless, murderous, tenacious, um, never quit Russian and Khabib, and then you have the
Exact same thing in American.
yeah, but instead of wrestling, it's boxing. Um, so, like you said, my whole concern is that the fight will go to the ground. Now, the thing that people like you want to say is, okay, yeah, Gaethje has never fought a grappler like Khabib. Well, on the contrary, Khabib hasn't fought a grappler like Gaethje either, who has that kind of knockout power. I mean, yeah, you could say Michael and all those guys, but at the end of the day, they don't have that kind of takedown defense like Gaethje does.
Well, Dustin
But
Poirier,
is it going to be
black
enough?
belt, good wrestler, great boxing, great striking. Khabib has a 4-to-1 punch ratio. He takes one punch for every 4 that he lands standing up. So his stand-up game isn't as bad as people give him credit for, but he blends it well, and that's the problem. Is it's not like a GSP. He doesn't do it to that level, but it's just so hard to stop that kind of takedown and that grappling whenever you're so worried about the hands.
And being a grappler for a long time myself, yeah, that's important. It's you need to be able to dictate where the fight goes for any reason at any time. It doesn't have to be because you think you're better on the ground. It could be because you got stunned. It could be because you needed to not let that guy tee off on you. All sorts of things. But at the end of the day, is Gaethje's takedown defense? I don't even know if he's ever been taken down in a fight. Possible, but
I think so.
very, very rarely does it happen. But I think Khabib's the guy that can do it. I think that Khabib is gonna win this fight by decision.
What?
I'm swapping picks, bud. The bet's still on, but I'm swapping picks.
Howard.
I'm
You can't pick
swapping
both
picks
fighters and have a bet.
because I'm gonna tell you why. Khabib wrestles bears and swims in frozen lakes. Like Gaethje, you're tough. You're the man. I like everything you're doing, but I don't think it's your time yet. I think Khabib's too primed. I think he had a lot of time to let his body recover, let his mind refocus and reharness, and then he rehardened that freshly fixed up body, rehardened it. And it's just that Russian mentality, man. Seek and destroy any way possible. I like Khabib's jiu-jitsu game better. I like his top game better, and his hands are almost just as good. So you give me Khabib winning a decision, 25-minute fight, and call it a controversial one.
All right. So the real reason why Khabib is winning this fight is he just lost his dad. His dad was in his corner for his last fight. His dad finally got to watch him fight, defend his belt against Dustin Poirier. Then he got lost due to COVID. So Khabib is going to go in there, and it's a little bit bigger than fighting. It's a little bit bigger than a belt. It's a little bit bigger than legacy. This has to do with everything about Khabib is going to go in there and let the darkness out on Gaethje. He's going to get on top, and he's going to keep smashing and keep smashing and keep smashing and finally get a submission victory.
Yeah.
I cannot see
You
Khabib losing this fight for any reason other than getting caught on the feet with a killer punch, which Gaethje can do. That guy's a warrior. He trains for war. He loves violence, and I love that. And if he was facing anybody else, I would be rooting for him. But you don't beat the Russian Eagle just because you want it more. Khabib wants this fight more. He wants to get out there, and he knows he can't do it, but he wants vengeance for his father's death, and he's going to take it out on on Gaethje. And I think that this is going to be the real deciding factor. Is it just goes a little bit deeper mentality wise. And Khabib, nobody's tougher than him mentally, and he's just going to go out there and lay it all out on the line and really pour it into Gaethje.
and very few physically are better than him too, are more tougher than him.
And here's another reason. Connor couldn't touch him on the feet. Dustin Poirier couldn't touch him on the feet. People cannot touch this guy on the feet, even though he doesn't have great striking. He has great defense,
movement,
and he can take you down at will. And he he holds the record for most takedowns in a fight. He just slams people who are All-Americans like Gaethje. Khabib is just on another level. He's another animal, and you
See,
don't mess with the Russian Eagle, my
you
friend. You
see,
do not do this. I'm sticking
see,
with the Russian heritage. I'm picking the Russian over the American.
yes, da, comrade. Yes, see, the thing about the Gaethje is that I just don't think that he is going to be ready to handle. I don't know if he could have that kind of training camp to get ready for Khabib.
Who can get ready for Khabib's wrestling? That's a tall task for
Yeah,
anybody, no matter how
wait,
accomplished you are.
wait. It's like, yeah, there's a difference between all-American wrestler and an all-Russian wrestler, man. Because an all-Russian wrestler, they're not talking about high school and college. They're talking
No,
about guys like Alexander Corlin in the Olympics. So their lineage, they don't do participation medals. They don't do anything like that. It's either
no,
kill or be killed.
and especially Dagestan has 5 out of the 7 world champion of the wrestling weight classes. So
Yeah.
they can wrestle over there. And but not only that, the way that they play basketball with grappling and submissions. Everything that they do revolves around grappling. And Khabib has no fear. In the stare down, you see Khabib just standing there calm, ready to go. And in Gaethje, he's a little bit antsy, a little bit twitchy, a little bit movement of the arms and everything. He's got all that excitement, all that nervous energy that he throws into the fight. It's not a bad thing. But I think Khabib is just more calm and comfortable with the situation, and I think he's just going to go in there and does what he does best, and that's take him down, lay that ground and pound, and just say, "Hey, you want to talk now? Let's talk now, Connor. Let's talk now, Dustin. Let's talk now, Mike." Like he gets on top of people and he does his talking in the cage, and I love that.
And that's what you need to do, because guess what? Talking shit don't win you fights or sign your check. What it does is maybe promote you to get a tougher fight with someone who wants to smash you even more. So you have to back it up.
That's
But
right.
with Connor and Gaethje, or with Khabib and Gaethje, that it's just going to come down to one of those things where I don't know if Gaethje's going to be able to prevent Khabib from implementing his will. So he's going to take you down, step you against the cage, limit your movement,
Tie up
cut off
those
your
limbs.
oxygen, tie up your limbs. So as soon as you're working on one thing, Khabib's already working on 3 different things at the same time. And he's just doing it by muscle memory. He's not even thinking about it. He's just naturally gets in those positions and really succeeds in them. So
Yeah, and I just think this is one of those fights that are bigger than fighting. I just think that there's so much going on for Khabib that, this is his victory to lose, and he's going to go out there, keep that undefeated record, move to 29-0, and continue to submit himself as the best pound for pound fighter that the UFC has right now.
the best mixed martial artist there ever was. I mean, if he keeps it
Nah,
up,
he will never get to Anderson Silva's level. Nobody probably will for quite a long time
yeah,
because you got to have every single skill set. You got to have the Muay Thai. You got to have the clinch work. You got to have the wrestling. You got to have the ground and pound. You got to have the submissions on top, on bottom. You got to have the striking, the one punch knockout power, the combos, the head movement, the defense. You got to have Anderson Silva is the only one that truly had it all, in my opinion.
yeah,
Every single aspect.
I agree with that because I mean, even John Jones, it's like,
Yeah.
does he even have a bottom? How's his guard?
Never,
You
never got to
never
see.
find out, but but we don't know how complete he truly is. Because Anderson Silva grappled with the best grapplers. He
And
outstruck
submitted
the
the
best
best
strikers.
grapple. Outstruck
Yeah,
everything.
but
He-
so he really did it all.
So you gotta. So Khabib is the best pound for pound right now, but he's got a long way to go before he can be an Anderson Silva type of fighter.
Yeah, like I said, got to clean up those hands.
Yeah,
Um,
clean up those. He's got those kicks, knees. He's got to be able to do it all.
oh yeah, it would be nice to see Gagey come out there and really pour it on him.
I would love to see Gagey get a knockout and win. Like this is a true this would be a good fight, but I just think it's just so hard to stop Khabib's grappling.
Yeah,
You can't
I
knock
just
him
can't
out
pick
before he
against.
grapples you.
I just can't pick against Khabib. Definitely not this fight. It's possible, but unlikely. Gagey, if he can stuff the takedown and really start picking uh, Khabib apart like he did Frankie Edgar, then we might have something different. But I just don't see it. Khabib starts getting peppered up, that fight's going to the ground instantly, and
Well, that
you're not.
fight's going to the ground as soon as possible every time Khabib takes the octagon.
Mhm. So is Gaethje going to be able to work and get up? Is he going to be able to finally find that counter to Khabib, locking your legs up?
Is Gaethje gonna be able to mix his grappling and keep the effectiveness of his striking? Because yeah, you could win a kickboxing match against Tony Ferguson. You know, just throw hands as much as possible. But it's different whenever you start adding that wrestling. You start going up and down off of the mat. Whenever Khabib's on top, damaging you. He didn't, Gaethje didn't take a lot of damage in that fight, but he's a warrior. He just loves fighting. He's like us. Getting hit makes him laugh. He enjoys it. It's just fun. Fighting is comfortable. Fighting is fun. War is home, and that's why I love Gaethje. But I just think Khabib is gonna be too much.
This is a different kind of war.
Technique matters after quite a while.
Like the
Even 300.
Yeah, like 300 Spartans versus the Persian army. It's like some battles you just can't win, no matter how hard you try or whatnot. So I just have a feeling this is going to be one of those battles for Gaethje where,
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think this one's going to come close, and I feel like it could be a possible Gaethje got robbed kind of decision. I expect a little controversy in this fight one way or another. So.
Well, I look at it that Khabib, his performance against Dustin Poirier, man, that just said everything about this fight coming up. That everybody was just like, Dustin's gonna knock him out. Dustin, his striking's so good, so much better, and then he gets in there, can't even land a few shots. Like Khabib, just his game plan, the way that he executes it is just, it's usually flawless. That's why he's undefeated.
To
So
me, Poirier fights best against other strikers. Um, it's just as soon as you throw in takedowns with it,
he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's a wrestler.
I know, but at the same time, it's about mixing them all together sometimes. And Khabib, he can mix it together. He can set up his punches with takedowns. He can set up his takedowns with his punches. So it's, you just got to be able to stuff Khabib's takedowns, and then you'll have a shot. But even then, Khabib still got some hands.
Yeah, and nobody's been able to stuff those takedowns for for a while.
Or land those shots. So um,
That's why
it's
we're
interesting.
both taking Khabib in this fight, and that's why you're getting me a nice steak.
Yeah, probably not. I still think Gaethje is gonna do enough to get it done in the judge's decision at the end of the steak dinner day. So, but yeah, if I was putting money on this fight down at the casinos, I would put money on Khabib. Can't go can't go against the undefeated guy.
All right. Well, you are, and it's going to cost you a steak, but
Mm.
but for the picks for the podcast, we're both going Khabib here. So let's close out the show, my friend.
All right. So tomorrow, MMA Coaches Corner watch along. Get your live coaching, commentary, and breakdown of the fight with the fighter and the coach. Then on Sunday, we have an episode of the WWE Step Inside the Squared Circle podcast for the pay-per-view event Hell in a Cell. So busy weekend coming up for you, everybody. Buckle up, grab your Trulies. I know I am. And let's get ready for a nice, fun weekend of some fights. Any closing comments from you there?
We just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate all you guys' feedback. Always feel free to hit us up on our social media at Scott Sportscast for all major platforms. Tell your friends, tell your family, and tune in this weekend because it's going to be a great card. Top to bottom, we got some real stacked fights. The hype is real. We're excited. Love to see, Khabib fight. I love his fight. I know a lot of people don't like it, but sometimes you just got to see a pure dominant grappler to appreciate wrestling at its highest form. And I feel that's what we're going to see tonight. So, or not tonight, tomorrow night. So give me a fun weekend. Catch the coaches watch along, the coach and the fighter. Break down the fights here this weekend. And have a great and wonderful weekend.
And remember, always, Khabib Smith.